Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Center for Practical Spirituality, where we are getting you started for the week and just getting you recalibrated and aligned and uplifted. So let's go ahead and begin. Oh, I'm so excited. By the way, here in Texas, in San Antonio, we've had some rain. And all of a sudden, the rain was, early this morning, I heard the thunder and the lightning. And I was just like, ooh, this is going to be good. And sure enough, it has been. So we're very blessed. And so we're hoping that we'll continue to have some good, wonderful, gentle, and wonderful, nurturing rain. That's what we're looking for. So let us go ahead and begin. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect to life, perfect to love, and perfect substance. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And so it is. I was thinking about this past week, and, so many different things have actually happened, globally as well as, spiritually and metaphysically, and just everything. And so I want to remind everybody that when you are feeling and you are in the place of knowingness, okay, so what do I mean by that? Knowingness is going to be where, just like the back of your hand, you know what the back of your hand looks like. So all of a sudden, there's a knowingness of what your next step in life is going to be. And it is so, it just draws you so profoundly that you know that you're on the right path. And so I invite all of us to affirm that we know our next step in life, that we are now embracing our next step in life, that we are saying yes to the things that we are being invited to. We have to get uncomfortable. And so the reason I say that is because when we get uncomfortable, that means that we're growing. It's when you are just kind of like going, oh, okay, well, I guess this is life. No. You have to, it's kind of like, do something that's going to be different. Like, for instance, I started, during Lent, 2 things that I've started doing. I'm not on social media as much, so yes, you kind of see me, but not really. On Sundays there's other things that I'm doing, so on and so forth. But the other thing is, so that was one thing that I kind of like said, oh, okay, I'm not going to be on Facebook as much as I was, and on TikTok and on Instagram and everything. And the reason is because I wanted to do other things, right? So I love whenever you're given the word and that you can go and find it in the little square and everything. So I love doing those. Those are word searches. And so I'll sit there and I'll keep doing it, and I'll just keep doing them. And it's kind of like, and it's the challenge to be able to find the words, even when there are some games that the only thing they give you, okay, are, you just know that there's like 6 letters to the word. And you're just like, oh my gosh, okay, well, and then they give you the theme, let's say animals at the zoo. And you're just like, oh, okay. And I eventually had to go looking on Google, like, what are some of the darn animals that are at the zoo? Anyways, I was able to find, all the words and, and then kind of get a groove in, of getting to the groove of doing these word searches. The other thing that I'm challenging myself to do in the very next few weeks is going to be coloring. Yes, I did.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. So is coloring, okay? So I was gifted some pens, some gel pens. I guess they're gel pens. And so what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning to do what we did as kids. And that was to color. And so I'm like, because there's no adult coloring, so I'm going to go ahead and do some coloring myself, because that is going to be something for the soul. What brings a smile to your soul? What brings a smile to your, that just, it's kind of like that there's joy. And so lots of times we forget, the knowingness of being at peace, the knowingness of, of being in prayer, the knowingness of, just kind of sitting down and then just kind of like going, like, wow, what an epiphany to just be able to sit and be, the knowingness, I'm really inviting all of us to understand that. So I have Mary Jane, who's here, and she sent something for me to share with all of you. And this is what it says. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. Ain't that the truth? Start a new career at 40, which I did. But I was like, wait, hold on, let me think. I think I was 52 when I started a new career. I mean, I'm still in ministry, but it was a totally different career. Fall in love at 50. Well, I'm in love with myself, so that counts, okay? Learn to dance at 60. Stop saying you can't. You can and you should. Dreams don't have expiration dates. We can, we will, and it is done. So what is your heart's desire? Because your heart's desire is God's desire, and God's desire is your heart's desire. So what is your heart's desire? Embrace it. I mean, embrace your heart's desire. It's a beautiful thing to embrace it, most definitely. So true satisfaction. I am satisfied because I have awakened to the truth of being in divine likeness. The source of satisfaction is within my soul and not in an outer thing. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Sorry about that. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness, which is Psalm 17:15. Wherefore do ye labor for that which satisfies not? Isaiah 55:2. Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear and your soul shall live, which is going to be Isaiah 55:3. Ultimately, find the truth that, sets your soul on fire. Looking at, for instance, one of the other things that Mary Jane sent me was for our chakras. Okay, so for the crown chakra, that's going to be our seventh one here. It says, I accept myself as I am, a beautiful being of light. Then the brow chakra, which is on the 6th, I reflect. I am a reflector of light and the master of my thoughts. Right here. Okay. Right here. I am a reflector of light and a master of my thoughts. See, whenever you say, I am a healthy mind, I am a healthy mind, I am a healthy mind, tap as well. I am a healthy mind. I am a healthy mind. I am a healthy mind. I am in divine right order. That's the other one. I am in divine right order. So the other one is the heart chakra, which is going to be right here. I express my truth with clarity, confidence, and courage. When you speak from the heart, you're going to speak with clarity, with confidence, and with courage. In other words, when you speak your truth, you're not going to, well, maybe, oh, possibly, oh, no. You're going to seek, ask, and knock, and once you understand what you want, you will be able to execute it, okay? Because you're seeking, you're asking, and you're wanting, or you're seeking, asking, and knocking. And what you're able to do is you're able to speak your truth, and it's from the heart. Okay? Now, let me see. I'm sorry, that's from the throat. From the throat right here. I express my truth with clarity, confidence, and with courage, and that's for the throat. For the heart, I practice compassion and acceptance. I am love. So the throat is going to be you're seeking, you're asking, you're knocking, and you speak your truth. Sometimes I speak it too loudly. Oops. So, yeah, anyways. The solar plexus is going to be right down here. And it's, I know my immense power and I use it for the highest good. When you understand you're not, this area right here, and that you are actually, it's kind of like those Care Bears, that project out from their little tummies. I love Care Bears, by the way. So you project your energy out. You also project your love out. You speak your truth, your throat chakra. So I know my immense power and I use it for the highest good. The next one is going to be the sacral chakra. I live life with passion, creativity, pleasure, and joy, which is I live life with passion, creativity, pleasure, and joy. Joy is at the center of our being. It's going to be right under the what do you call it? Your navel, your little belly button. That's going to be that area, that sacral chakra. The root chakra, it's a little safer. It's a little further down. And I am safe, grounded, resilient, and I am one with my human tribe. I am one with earth. Gosh, the truth will always set us free. So be not afraid. Instead, go boldly and be curious rather than certain. Okay? That's today's topic. Our persistence in examining the tension within diversity encourages growth towards our own common goal. All the power in the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were yours and it was true. As the universe is running by an infinite mind, so our life is controlled by our thinking. Ignorance of this keeps us in bondage. Knowledge will free us all. Dividing humans by our attributes and characteristics has always been a controversial tendency, whether dividing by the construct of race, gender, religion, social status, or some other artificial boundaries. We find ourselves left with a sense of brokenness. You are this, and I am that. They are that, and we are this. Yes, there are discernible differences among humans, each one a unique iteration of the divine pattern. The trouble is when we name them and make them matter and assign them value. In other words, my skin is brown, my gender is female, my partner is female, and I study religious science, or I study divine science. These are facts that are interesting, but they're not definitive. Let's explore who I am causes tension for someone else. Why do my characteristics being different from yours cause tension between us? Being curious rather than certain can open us up to so many possibilities. So instead, these are facts that are interesting but not definitive. So let's explore why who I am causes tension for someone else. And the question is going to be, why do my characteristics being different from yours cause tension between us? So why is it that I being able to speak two languages bothers some people? Okay, why? Okay, hold on. I don't know what this is. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Don't know what. My little computer decided to speak to me, and I don't know what it's telling me. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, I'll have to figure it out later, because right now is not the time. There we go. So being curious rather than certain can open us up to so many possibilities. Remember, if I speak two languages, why does it bother some other people? Just the other day, I happened to go to this one place, and so this one guy actually speaks or is fluent or is semi-fluent in like 4 or 5 languages: English, Arabic, Spanish, French, and another one. And I just kind of like stood there and I was in awe. I was like, 5 languages? Goes, yes. And I was like, this is, beyond awesome. And I said, and why is it that here in America they're so, never mind. Just English. Just English, No. Learn other languages. It's called communication, and it's called being educated. It's called, it's kind of going beyond the boundaries and the boxes that we're placed in. What's so bad about knowing other than one language? Do you know how phenomenal and awesome it is to know more than just one language? To be able to communicate across, countries? To be able to, speak to someone, the Spurs, a lot of them, they weren't able to speak in English because not everybody was, knew English, so they communicated. For instance, one of the guys, it's kind of like he didn't know French, but he knew Spanish, so then they were able to communicate via Spanish. Another one, he didn't know Spanish, but he knew Portuguese, if I'm not mistaken, and this other one knew Portuguese. And then the diversity. But you know what was universal? Basketball. Jesus. Learn basketball as well, anyways. Learning to be able to communicate in different ways. The bigger question was and is, why do my characteristics of being different from you cause tension between us? Instead of it causing, friction or some kind of tension, let's get excited and say, oh, really? You know how to do that? Hey, can you share that with me? And then all of a sudden, you're learning something together. Just a thought. Being curious rather than certain can open us up to so many possibilities. Let's forget what we think we know. Let's have the mind of a child. Let's truly know each other and be free of the ignorance of any kind of assumed superiority. In reality, we all bleed the same. And I hate to tell it and say it to anybody, but whenever you leave this world, you're not taking anything with you. So no matter, I'm going to say it. It's kind of like, no matter if you're rich or poor, we all bleed red. No matter if you're rich or poor, whenever you die, you're not taking anything with you. It's a fact. And it's just, be curious about, the fact that there's diversity. So I've done a little bit of a deep dive, and I guess it's time for me to kind of like share this. But, Ramona, which is Daddy Yankee, okay, I went into a deep dive. I don't even know why. But one of the things that happened when he was much younger, before he started his career, he got shot in the leg because of a cross gang war that was over in Puerto Rico. And so then he got shot, and there went his opportunity to become a quote unquote baseball player. But let's go back to the day that he got shot. Whenever he got shot, what ended up happening is that all his friends, took off, and he had to kind of like put himself under a vehicle, okay? But the person that came and helped him to be safe and to be under a vehicle and to be, protected and everything was, and this is where he was like, it just stayed in his heart, was a drug addict. And that drug addict was the one that saved him from getting killed off. He's tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to find that person that was a drug addict. But he wasn't able to find him again. But that person to him, to Daddy Yankee, was an angel, because it saved Daddy Yankee so that then therefore in the future he was able to actually share all of his music with us. And so there was differences between Daddy Yankee and that, person that was a drug addict, that was homeless. And yet for Daddy Yankee, what he said was, I will never, ever, ever judge a person by its cover ever again. Because the ones that he thought would save him and would help him, they ran and left him behind. They were the, strong and able, right? They were, supposedly, drug free, and they were, look at me. And it was the one that was a drug addicted person and who was homeless and, really down and out. The least person that he ever thought that was going to help him ended up helping him and saving his life. So once again, the question is, and I have to put the glasses on because, I just have to. Why do my characteristics being different from you cause tension between us? As Daddy Yankee explained, that at one time, he was like, no, and da-da-da-da-da-da. From that day forward, he sees everybody, regardless if they're drug addicts or homeless or whatever. He sees them for the gift that they truly are to everyone. I am willing to examine the tension around diversity and be part of the healing, the perfect divine health. It is time for us to start praising the diversity, being joy-filled of the diversity, understanding that diversity is a beautiful thing. And so there's a lot of diversity that's actually happening right now. One of the number one diversities is going to be, the diversity of speaking different languages, of not, being, quote unquote, from the United States, or being born from another place. The misconception that the one of the number one misconceptions is that we all, have crossed the border. When in reality, the border crossed us. More and more and more and more, we are able to understand that certain things happened, and that the tension that we're experiencing is because there's a rebirth. There's a new birth that's actually happening. And that new birth is a new world, a new way of existing, and a new way of caring for each other and being there for each other. There is a new light emerging so that we all can be one. Yes, ma'am.
It's like, a bouquet of different flowers.
A bouquet of different flowers.
Born if there was just one type of flower in all the world. So all this.
The different flowers. The beauty of the different flowers. I mean, how many of us haven't gotten a bouquet of flowers, and they're all different? You know, I remember whenever, Nick, rest in peace, but I remember when I'd be asleep, you know, va por donde quiera and everything. You know. And all of a sudden, it's like Nick would walk into the room, and how I would be woken up is because he would have the wildflowers that he had picked when he had gone walking. So all of a sudden, you know, it's kind of like I could hear him walk in the room, and I'd be like, and I would open my eye like this, and I would actually like wake up like this, because I would see all of these beautiful different colors right in front of me, because he would tickle my nose to wake me up in many senses, because sometimes I would be dead asleep, and I would see the vibrancy of those flowers. And, you know, they were handpicked by him. It was yellows and purples and greens and pinks and blues and just, and fuchsias. And, I mean, it was just a beautiful, itty-bitty little, you know, bouquet, kind of small little bouquet. And I would just be thrilled. And I would tell him, thank you, honey. And he goes, you're welcome. He goes, Ina and I, you know, because it was Ina and him that would go walking. Or Ina, him, and Stitchers, you know, would go walking, and they'd come back home and they would give that to me. And I'd be like, oh, thanks, hon. And so that diversity, you know, like Mary Jane just mentioned, life would be boring if everybody was, you know, like in the Matrix. I'm Mr. Smith. You know, I don't want everybody to be a Mr. Smith. You know, can you imagine a world of all Katrinas? Oh my God, you know? I mean, there's one of me. And and they can't have too many more of me. I mean, it's like just me, myself, and I. People have been like, Katrina. And they're just like, you're a little much. And yeah, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm not going to dim my light, so you better put on sunglasses, you know. It's like, because I'm not going to dim my light. And so, you know, that's why the diversity, even in triplets or quadruplets, you know, they have their own personality. One is going to be the serial killer, and the other one is the priest, you know, or the nun, you know, I mean, but they each are very unique. God is an awesome God. And he created us very uniquely. Our fingerprints are unique. Every single fingerprint is unique. There is not one that is duplicated at all. God is an awesome God. Really, seriously, God is an awesome God. Now, before we finish, and I hope that you enjoyed today's song, but I'm going to tell you guys one song that I do want for you guys to look up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's called, Sonríele. Daddy Yankee's new song. It's called Sonríele. It came out on July 9th of 2025. Okay. Sonríele. It says, sonríele a la vida. Hold on. Sonríele a la vida para que lo malo se vaya. Translated into English is smile at everything so that the negative and the bad can go away. And so when you hear that song of Sonríele, I mean, it's a reggaeton. Getting you going, you know, and everything else. But what I love about it is the smile. Smile so that you can get rid of all of the negative or all the evil. And evil simply means to not live. Because when you're living, you're going to be in love and joy and peace and happiness and, you know, all those things that bring vitality. When you are in EVIL, that means you're in anger and resentment and hate and, those things that are of a lower vibration. Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of fingerprints, Source gave you a fingerprint that no one else has, so you can leave an imprint that no one else can.
Oh, that one's nice. Bring it. Come here. Let me read it out loud. This one's a good one, guys, in reference to a fingerprint, which is very, very true. And then she's going to send it to me. I know she is. So right here, Source gave you a fingerprint that no one else has, so you can leave an imprint that no one else can. Oh, I need this one, Mary Jane. Hold on. I'm going to, come in here. You can come and share it with me. Okay. And I'm going to, that is such a true statement. Mm-hmm. We need to remember that how do we make others feel when they're around us? How are they going to remember us? How did you make them feel? We're always going to be able to remember how a person made us feel. And I feel that the song called Sonríele makes us feel good. It's kind of like, so, and you don't even really have to, you just have to listen to the beat. That's it. Just listen to the beat. Most definitely. So I'm really, 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 really excited to hear a lot of these, songs that are coming up and that are just bringing life and vitality to our lives, So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing, with us, and being here with us and just making, a great impact in our lives. Wherever you are at, I want for you to remember that you are a blessing. Wherever you go, I want for you to remember that you are uplifting someone. You may not think it, you may not know it, but you are. You are. So at this point, I'd like for all of us to hold our tithes, our offerings, and our prayer requests in our hands, and then for us to say together, divine love in me, through me, and hold on. Divine love in me, as me, and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And so it is. I say it every single Sunday. You think that I would remember it. It's kind of like, but every once in a while, it just doesn't stick. Anyway, so you have a wonderful week, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Make it a great, absolute, phenomenal week, regardless of whatever. Remember, we're learning lessons and we're also teaching lessons. And the day that you no longer have to teach a lesson and the day that you no longer have to learn a lesson, it means you've transitioned, by the way. So at that point, we're going to be thankful for the lessons, okay? I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one. I'm ready to experience one. I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is opened all the way. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle today. Very good, very good. Yay! I love you guys. Thank you so very much. We'll see each other next week.